Michael, top tips for motivating estate and letting agency staff. Talk to me.
Talk to them, and more importantly, listen to them. So engage with them, help them. Everybody can achieve whatever they want in life if they just help enough other people achieve what they want, and that's very true of staff.
That's a Zig Ziglar phrase.
It is a Zig Ziglar phrase, and I'm a great fan of Zig Ziglar.
Yeah.
And it's true, and it's true of staff, not just customers and clients.
It's true of life.
Absolutely. Now, so many people get a member of staff, stick them in an office, and throw them in at the deep end. There's a phone, there's a warmth. Oh, phew. Somebody's sitting there. Now, that's an extreme. And at the other end, people are all over them like a rash. This is really down to management skills of identifying the competencies and that and slowly letting people loose. If people are going home every night feeling that they've learned something, they've got a notch better, they want to come back the next day and go forward. And it's really the time you put in with that. I remember my son, when he was about 7 or 8 years old, came home from school one day and said, "Dad, when was the Battle of Hastings?" Now, I could have said to him 1066, and he'd have got the answer, gone off quite happy. He wouldn't have learned anything. Now, this was pre-Google, I have to say, but I said, "Well, how are you going to find out?" He said, "Well, I could read that history book on the shelf." I said, "Well, go on then." So he goes and gets it, and he finds out about this guy called Harold. He gets one in the eye, and this chap comes over from front.
Sounds a great story.
And he basically, it's a great
Need
story.
to make a film of it.
But the point is, he learned. So if I'd have given him the answer, 1066, 10 days later, he'd have been back, "Well, when was that Battle of Hastings again, Dad?" And that, we do not spend enough time with staff developing them by using every situation as a learning opportunity.
You're so right. We're very good at giving them the answer, aren't we?
Or give it to me. Give it to me and I'll deal with it. Well, in which case, guess what they keep doing?
Giving it to you.
Strange.
Isn't that interesting?
So that is, in my view, that's a serious area that's missing.
How can agents get better at that, bosses?
Well, I think
just do it.
I think whoever's ultimately calling the shots, recognising it and doing it. I mean, there's some very good trainers in the industry. You can put people on a sales course or whatever, and that's great. But it's not much good if they come back to the office and the manager says, "Oh, that's all right, but we do it like this here." You wasted your couple £100 or whatever you've done sending somebody on a course. So it needs to be a holistic, cultural approach.
The issue seems to be here that it's bosses, and it's lonely being a boss, isn't it? Accountability to yourself and to your staff and awareness of what you're good and bad at. Is coaching the answer?
Well, coaching is, and I think, I do spend quite a bit of my time as a business mentor working with owners of businesses and having these sort of conversations, of course. But the reality is a lot of these guys who own the businesses have now been perhaps owning, we've got obviously a new generation coming through, but, we have got a lot of businesses who sprung out of the demise of the corporates in the sort of 80s and 90s and set up their businesses, so 25 years ago, often very successful over the 25. But these guys are now 50 years old-ish. Bluntly, they're a bit tired. They don't really want to do that. But they've got to find ways of making sure they've got people in their organisations who do it. It doesn't really matter who does it, providing it's in there and it's happening. I'm a great believer in training courses, but I'm more of a believer in coaching. If you're a professional footballer, if you're Paul Pogba, marvellous footballer, but he has a coach. He has somebody who works with him every day. Now, you're not telling me that his coach is a better footballer than Paul Pogba.
No.
But his coach will get him focused on a few things, on whatever to make it happen. And that's what we need to see more of.
But there's a bit of a stigma when it comes to coaching, especially in Britain, isn't there?
Well, there's two ways of looking at training and coaching. One is, right, I'd like you to go and see so-and-so, blah, blah. Oh, why? Do you think there's something wrong with me? There's that immediate reaction. Or, oh, great, they're investing in me. Good. And it clearly needs to be the latter.
I'm talking about more the bosses, the MDs, the CEOs, getting a coach, because it's a lonely old game. I mean, I must admit, I had a coach, and it's been transformational for my business and myself, focusing on what I'm good at and what I'm bad at and getting better at it.
Yep.
But agents don't do that, do they?
Often not. And what a fantastic opportunity then for those that perhaps do. Obviously, you've got to work with the right person, etc., etc. And there may be some, false dawns and bits and pieces. But I've got around 750 clients now. I don't do mentoring with all of them, but I'd like to think that those that I do, they wouldn't carry on using me if they didn't feel there was some value. And in all industries, business mentoring, when you look at lots of very successful people, they've all got some form of coach, indeed, some sort of guide, some sort of mentor.
Because it's lonely running your own business, isn't it?
Even if it's a shoulder to cry on, or it's just somebody saying, "Hey, why, stop wasting your time with this.
Take a step back.
Go at that." Because if you're that close to your business, sometimes it can be difficult to see it. Whereas somebody from outside, a lot of the work I do, I'm actually telling people things, quite frankly, they already know. But it's a different voice, coming from a slightly more, perhaps, authoritative viewpoint, external viewpoint, and things then tend to happen.
I agree with you. Accountability to somebody else makes you do it.
A lot of my clients say, when we know you're coming in, Mike, it's like we're sitting outside the headmaster's study. We better get on and do something, otherwise we're going to get a rollicking.
Thank you very much. Please, if you're a neg or a manager and you or an MD of a firm and you think this video would help someone else, please do share it with them. Thank you very much, Michael.
Cheers.